Hello.
Hello.
We're back. All right, hold on. Let me make sure the right game is capturing. Hi. Oh, you're so tiny.
As I should be.
Good. Hello everyone. We're back with our life. I've missed my boy. I've also missed Belle.
It's been a long while.
But we're on step 3, so I think that means we're like graduating high school. Hold on.
I think we're about to graduate high school.
Holy fuck,
Question
y'all.
mark.
And I know Kove is our boyfriend. Oh my god, I have so many sources on this fucking scene. Hold on. Where's the game? PC. Okay. Oh, it might be like too big because I was playing. Oh god. Oh.
We
I'll
good?
figure it out later. Okay, wait, hold on. Continue. Oh god. 1 second. No, that's not it. Where the fuck is it? Because I was playing, last time I was live, we were playing AI Somnium Files. So I had to stretch that shit out. Now the screen's too big. Hold on, I got this. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm a genius. Okay, we're so good.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're so back. All right.
Oh yeah.
We paused at a really awkward spot. What the fuck's happening? What the hell? Right. Yo, we just checked out in the middle of a conversation. All right.
Sounds about right.
Whenever you're ready.
We daydreamed for months.
Yeah, have you been daydreaming? I've been in a coma.
Have a nice daydream.
Yeah. You blinked, pushing all your thoughts away and returning to reality. Your mom was watching you with a teasing smile.
All right.
So what's on the agenda today?
I'm meeting up with some people.
Well, I hope you and your friends have fun. Don't get into too much trouble.
She winked at you. You knew both of your moms wanted you to enjoy every bit of this summer before all the big changes started. Okay, yeah, we're going to college, I guess. I'll try.
That'd be great.
But before you go gallivanting around the town, could you bring the mail in? I'm finishing up putting the dishes away over there.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thanks very much.
Slay. Oh, hey, y'all. As soon as you were outside your front door, you couldn't help but see Kove and his dad standing around in the road. They noticed you too.
Hey.
Hey there, Groovy. Hi, good timing. You should come join us.
Give him a high five. Give him a high five, a very romantic high five. I'll ruffle his hair.
Well, Sarah.
Oh, he's blushing. Kove smirked at you, knowing exactly how you were, what you were about to do. You ruffled his hair gently, admiring how soft it was between your fingers. You smiled at him affectionately until you started taking your hand back. That's when you teasingly bopped him on the nose. Wait, bop? Not boop?
It's not boop.
It says bopped. Bop!
Boopity bop.
On the nose with your index finger. His smirk dropped to a look of surprise, and then he chuckled. He definitely thought it was cute. You noticed Mr. Holden was taking in the scene of you and Kove with a satisfied smile. Kove followed your line of sight and shot his dad an unimpressed look. For a moment, Mr. Holden seemed like he had a thought dancing on the tip of his tongue, but he decided to keep it to himself.
So.
What are you up to today?
Me and Kove are meeting some friends later. We're gonna paint the town red.
Exciting. They won't know what hit him.
Kove shook his head disapprovingly, but you knew him well enough to tell that he was entertained by your notion. Yawning, Mr. Holden stretched his arms over his head.
My boy and I have just been waiting around to see what the new neighbors are like. New neighbors?
Oh, why? Wait,
It was
what?
definitely his idea. I don't know, did we have new neighbors?
I guess we had no wait, but I don't know. Did we know about this? What the fuck's going on? All right, hold on.
I don't remember it. Did we have new neighbors?
Oh, I guess we had. I don't know. I guess we have new neighbors.
Surprise! I don't know how you're not interested in this. It's big news. Besides, it'd only be polite to greet the new folks in town. Imagine it was like, what's that green hair kid's face, Jeremy?
Jeremy! Oh god, I'm gonna kick the shit out of him if I see him. It would be a single dad and his son. Ko snorted some airy laughter at the suggestion.
Oh?
You think we'll have some competition?
For
Or
some
maybe Shiloh.
Yo, Shiloh doesn't give a shit about us anymore. For several moments, Mr. Holden was unable to answer. He was still chuckling when he put his hands on his hips and tried to compose himself.
Nah.
Absolutely not. We're the #1 father-son duo in this town, and no one's changing that.
Mr. Holden took one more glance at the currently vacant building and sighed dramatically when he turned back to you and Cove. His whole body seemed deflated.
There's no sign of them, and I still need to head over to work soon.
We're just like standing outside their fucking house waiting for them to get here or something. Like, Cove gave his dad a few reassuring pats on the back.
Okay, I promise to keep an eye out, and I can text you if anything happens. Really?
Of course.
Well, I mean, only until I have to meet up with Terry and Miranda. Would that still work?
With a wide grin breaking out on his face, Mr. Holden looked absolutely thrilled to have his nosiness enabled.
That works.
He moved to firmly place both hands over Cove's shoulder, facing his child with a firm stare.
Son, you are my true ally in this world.
Because he's helping you, like, stalk someone? Like, what the fuck's happening? Mr. Holden stood up straighter, letting Cove go. He looked reinvigorated.
Okay, with that settled, I'll go make some money. That's always been the one thing I do best.
Slay. Mr. Holden headed off to the garage with a big wave goodbye. Cove smiled the whole time you both watched his dad leave. I like it. He's my dad-in-law. He always tried his best and was honestly just great. As soon as he was out of sight, Cove sighed lightly. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Just not looking forward to waiting. Guess I'll be hanging around the street for a while.
I'll stay with you. I'm fucking curious. Curiosity about the new tenant was getting the better of you, and you figured that the wait wouldn't be too much longer, and besides, you just couldn't leave Cove.
Really?
Of course, I like keeping you company, remember? He stared at you a moment and smiled, smiling softly and thinking about his response.
Me too.
Yay.
I like that too.
Cove put his hands on your shoulder. His thumbs absent-mindedly moved in a soothing circle. The look in his eyes was much firmer. He was serious.
Riri, you're my true ally in this world.
Aww. That got a fair amount of chuckles from you. He grinned, the stoicism fading into amusement.
Thank you.
You're always good to me.
Yay. You're lucky to have me. Teasingly, Cove raised an eyebrow. You're the most lucky guy in all of Sunset Bird. Luckiest. For a moment, you weren't sure if Cove was laughing at your declaration, or that you momentarily forgot the word luckiest. Either way, you didn't mind. The smile on his face reached his eyes, and it made you feel electric. Aww. And then he let go of you. Cove stepped over to his front porch steps, lazily taking a seat and leaning back on his arms.
Our watch begins.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Nodding in agreement, you joined Cove on the front porch steps. You both sat there in a comfortable familiarity as you settled in for the waiting game on the new tenants. The neighborhood was quiet and you sighed contentedly, closing your eyes and feeling the light breeze. The only sound you could hear was the familiar jingle of Cove's wind chime. After all these years, it was still there during the entrance outcropping of his house. I bought those for him, right?
Yes.
At the mall. Oh, slay. Eventually, you both perked at the sound of a car. A taxi followed the noise, turning onto your street. Cove's eyebrows raised at the sight, and he sat up straight on the stoop.
Oh?
This has to be them, right?
Only people who come out here live here. It has to be. Now that they were here, you couldn't help but feel just a bit curious. You wondered what kind of person would be living in the neighborhood for the summer. The taxi pulled to a stop, as you expected, in front of the now empty condo. It was on the same side of the street as your house, a few buildings further up. Without getting to his feet, Cove tried leaning and tilting his head to get a view of the passenger door as it opened. The single occupant exited the cab.
Huh?
You could feel that Cove was in that moment after the last renters. This new visitor was definitely not exactly what you'd expect. Oh shit, it's him!
Oh, it's there.
It's this motherfucker! I was wondering if it was him. Look at this fucking guy. It was a young man. Had to be close to your own age. He was dressed fully in an electric black, white, and gray outfit. Even his side swoop hair matched the scheme. Oh, look at his rings, god damn it. The only other pop of color was from something that couldn't easily be fashioned into submission, a pair of dark brown eyes, which you caught when you looked over at his audience.
Hello, folks. Who might you be? We're the neighbors.
A smile already prominent on his face curled further. It was cocky, but you didn't get the impression it meant something adverse.
Hallelujah.
You and Cove shared a familiar look with one another, bewildered even further. The color-coordinated man left it there, however, and with a firm click, he shut the door of his ride. Then he turned his back to you to retrieve a large, unsurprisingly black suitcase out of the trunk. Continuing on with his own business, he strolled forward and lightly tapped on the driver's side window with his knuckles, asking for them to roll it down. When it opened, he leaned down and rested his arm on the edge. You assumed he was thanking the driver for getting him there, considering he slipped them a tip during the brief chat. They shook hands, and then he pushed himself up and away from the taxi with both arms, giving the driver room to leave. The taxi pulled away, rolling carefully down the road and out of sight, around a corner. The new renter had officially arrived. He left his suitcase on the ground out of the way of the street and sauntered over your way with the confidence of someone who had been invited to join. Cole finally stood up to greet this person. You followed suit.
Excellent.
Oh my fucking god.
I'm Baxter Ward. It's excellent to meet you, neighbors.
You were standing on the side he was approaching from. When Baxter got close enough, he offered his hand to you first. Oh shit, I'll just shake his hand. I have no reason not to shake it. Baxter gripped your hand firmly to give a satisfying shake. Welcome to Sunset Bird, Baxter. I'm Groovy.
Hey, Groovy. I am quite keen on getting to know you better this summer. We could be good friends.
From your other side, Cove made a sudden sputtering noise.
And you are?
He lifted his hand out to Cove next. Cove shook his hand, still eyeing Baxter carefully.
I'm Cove.
Baxter's whole demeanor lit up for unknown reasons. His eyes shone as he studied Cove a moment.
Really?
Now wait, is that a nickname or your real name? It's just my name.
Groovy's a fine name, but Cove, that's where I draw the fucking line. Cove spoke mildly, having given that explanation many times in the past, but it clearly charmed Baxter all the same. He tossed his head to one side with a laugh.
Your parents knew exactly what they were doing. I can't imagine a more fitting name for the face I'm seeing, Cove. Oh, so wait, no, I messed it up. Cove, that's gorgeous.
Are you flirting with my boyfriend? Hi, Josh. Hello, bestie.
Hello.
There's a new cunt in town, and it's Baxter.
What?
It's really not.
He's flirting with my boyfriend.
He's taken.
He's taken. Is that this
that's
white-haired guy?
disgusting.
Yeah. Whoa, he was flirting with my boyfriend! Who's a Danganronpa-looking weirdo? It's the new kid in town. Hi, Cyber.
That's disappointing, but not surprising. I'm guessing he's yours?
Yes!
Yes.
I hate
Groovy is
his
my
face
partner.
already! Oh, come on. He just got here. This dude sucks. There's a dude who sucks even harder. I don't know if we'll see him again. I'm kind of upset that we won't see him again. Because I like bullying him. Also, hold on. The game is like, there's slightly a black line on OBS. I'm going to try to fix that.
Oh.
It's because of how I positioned it. Okay, that should be better. Okay, cool.
I get it.
And that's crushing, but makes sense. I got here too late, obviously. Though really, I didn't mean to intrude on anything you have.
Damn! Baxter, you could join the polycule.
I'm patently against stepping on anyone's toes.
Oh, look, he has like ripped jeans too.
Gosh, the ripped jeans.
The ripped jeans, the half and half shirt, the fucking white hair. He chuckled to himself. It seemed like there was some extra meaning hidden there in his words, and you noticed that Cove raised an eyebrow, picking up on that too. Baxter didn't even open his eyes to see your faces to know he had some filling to do. He stood up straighter, striking a slight pose with the position of his feet.
I'm a ballroom dancer, hence the phrasing.
Oh, you're so Baxter from not to be Knuckles.
Oh, I don't know much about dancing, but that's pretty cool. It's not hard once you get the basics down.
You guys should dance right now. Cove didn't look convinced at all. Baxter took that as a cue to keep talking.
Well,
He grinned in a way that was rapidly becoming familiar to you.
If either of you are ever looking for a partner, I'm available.
In what way? Baxter, what did you mean by that?
I'll pass.
Cove peeked at you, smiling softly. You felt his familiar touch as he squeezed your hand for a moment.
sorry.
Person
Oh!
I'd want to dance with. Sorry.
Ah!
I can't accept that.
Wait, what? You didn't answer. Oh. I mean, sure. Baxter smiled and nodded, understandingly, letting the subject go. After that, there was a lull in the conversation, and Cove attempted to fill it.
So,
Made you decide on Sunset Bird. Oh yes, well, my parents rented a condo, so I had a place to stay while I'm off for a semester from college and not living in the dorms.
Are your parents here, or are you just gonna live here? There was a playful glint in Baxter's eyes as he continued.
honestly,
Ideally, they wanted to send me somewhere that wasn't too exciting, but lucky for me, they picked the wrong street, considering the two of you live here.
Baxter then preemptively lifted his hands up in front of his chest, giving the gesture for meaning no harm.
It's nice not to be the only one my age around the neighborhood for an entire summer. Nothing more.
That was a story you had heard before, the same one as when Lonely Cove and his dad moved in all those years ago. Cove wasn't relating still.
You could have phrased it like that in the first place. I don't feel the need to keep words of praise to myself, but they're not romantic come-ons. I see that you two are very much a committed pair. I like to be friends if we can, but that's all.
Dude, you flirted with us as soon as you stepped out of the damn cab.
It's okay. You probably know
That's so
other people.
fucking rude. I don't know if it's fine. It doesn't bother me. Finding it pretty entertaining. Baxter laughed at that.
Glad we're working things out.
Shifting his weight to his other foot, Baxter tried to move forward.
so
Which condo is yours? How long have you been living together?
Oh!
Oh, no.
Cove sputtered again, and unintentionally a laugh escaped you.
that's
We're both your neighbors, but we live in different houses with our parents.
As if second nature, the two of you pointed to your homes, the buildings directly across from the street from each other. Baxter's eyebrows raised at that.
Your neighbors who started dating?
What's wrong with that?
What a couple of lovebirds. You're the backbone of romantic society.
Aw.
Honestly, I hope you never break up. If you can make it work, there might be a chance for the rest of us.
Oh, okay. You knew Cove well enough to tell that there was a little bit of amusement in his expression, but he sighed in exasperation. After that, you had no doubts about his claims of being complimentary. You were really starting to get a kick out of it.
Well, if either of you are free, I'd be thrilled to hang out this summer. But we can save the schedule talk for later. I should get my things inside.
He gave a small nod of the head and flashed you both a dazzling smile. Our life with Nico and Belle, let's fucking go! Hi, Aaron.
Yeah.
goodbye.
Oh,
Oh, goodbye for today.
God, his voice. I want to say things about his voice, but I am oomfies with his voice actor on Twitter, so I will keep things to myself.
Bye.
He's very good at his job. Cove gave a small wave as well. Bye! Baxter then turned on his heels and strolled back to his suitcase, picking it up and bringing it to his condo. You and Cove were silent as Baxter unlocked the door and disappeared inside the house. Whose voice called? No, Baxter's. With him completely out of the scene, Cove let out a long breath.
Well,
I don't know how I'm gonna explain. Oh, fuck.
It's okay.
Oh, who is it?
I don't know. What?
Sorry, continue. Sorry, I'm reading chat. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay. I don't know how I'm gonna explain that guy to my dad.
Hold on, where the fuck? Why isn't he coming up when I search him? 1 second. Followers? God, the Twitter search is so bad now. Because, like, I would search, like, one letter, and then it would be like, oh, you're oomfies with this person, so they'll show up. Now it's just, like, it doesn't filter that anymore.
I know, and it's like, it doesn't show up at all.
His name is,
It's like-
James Morningstar. I literally I put Morningstar into the fucking Twitter search, and he did not come back. He did not come up. But yeah, he's really good at his job, and he's a very, very beautiful man. Anyways, YouTube recommendations have also turned to garbage recently. James Terraferogi, oh, is it like a HJ? Oh, he is good looking. I'm so bad at pronouncing names, but yeah, that's him. He's really good. All the voice acting in this game is really good, and like they get like quote unquote like small people, but it's all so good. You burst into a fit of laughter trying to imagine the conversation. At least the job is done. Oh, god damn it! Go on.
It's okay. At least the job is done. We saw the new neighbor, and now we can go meet up with Terry and Miranda.
Slay. Yeah, we should get going. You gave Baxter's condo one last glance over your shoulder. Oh shit! I still. Choose your feelings for Baxter.
Sure.
I'll say I'm indifferent for now. I just met the guy. Wait, if you choose indifferent towards Baxter, you won't be able to access any of that for the save file, and scenes will play out as they do in the base game. You could still get along with Baxter. Indifferent. But fond doesn't mean I'm like flirting with him, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'll say relaxed. You see? Okay, I'll put fond. Because I don't want to like miss out on content. Obviously, I'll replay this on my own time, but he was charming. He's a charming guy. You really weren't sure when, but at some point Baxter won you over. You were curious to get to know him better. Laughing quietly, you wondered how Baxter would fit in with the rest of the neighborhood. Turning your attention back to Cove, you pushed all thoughts of Baxter aside. You both started making your way towards town. Let's hold his hand. You slid your palm into his, and Cove laced his fingers with yours. His expression instantly became happier, and he lightly squeezed your hand. Aww. A little while later, you and Cove reached a main street in town. All of a sudden, you stopped walking.
What's wrong?
I think I heard my phone. You dug your cell phone out and looked at it with a satisfied grin. There was a new message. Before you could read it, you were distracted by a small amused noise from Cove. His head was slightly tilted to the side as he carefully looked at your old keychain.
Can't believe you still have that.
What keychain do I have? Is it a dolphin?
I think it was a dolphin.
I feel like we get each other. Well, someone was crazy enough to get it for me, so I may as well use it. You grinned looking at the keychain fondly. He laughed remembering the day he bought it for you.
Nice.
Aw.
I'm actually glad you like it.
Yay. He looked back at you with a playful grin.
Especially since it cost me a whole $6. That's like $30.
$6 for a fucking keychain, dog? You got ripped off. His matter-of-fact tone had you laughing deep. It took several moments to compose yourself enough to speak. I didn't realize that was the going rate.
It was then. Probably be more now.
So if you're going to say that, wait. So you're going to try to you're going to say that you were a big spender?
And kid money, yes. I was definitely a high roller, remember?
That had you both bursting into fits. Smiling, you refocused on the task at hand. You opened the new text from Miranda, and all you saw was, "I can see you." Immediately from where you stood, you started swiveling your head around. You couldn't spot Miranda anywhere, but she said she did send you more messages. Oh, it's a little turtle!
Oh, we got it wrong.
We got it wrong.
I saw you holding Ko's hand. Scandalous.
Oh, okay. Where are you? Haha, come on. Really, Rand? Wait. Oh, it's I pick. Okay, hold on. Where are you? The message was sent and you were back to looking around, scanning for any sign of movement and familiar faces, but they were still invisible. Cove looked at you carefully, raising an eyebrow. I'll grab him. At once, you hooked your arms around his neck. His neck! Jesus! Still holding your phone and brought him even closer to you. He blushed and gave you a look mixed with amusement and confusion.
Seriously, Groovy? What did that message even say?
Don't worry about it. Before you could even begin explaining anything to Cove, you both snapped your attention to the yelling from across the street. And there you saw Miranda and Terry coming out from behind the backside wall of the grocery store. They both started waving wildly to draw even more attention to themselves.
Oh.
With your friend's grand entrance made, Cove seemed to realize the joke. He smiled with a sigh, and you let him go for the moment, chuckling. Cove took a step in their direction, grinning. He put his hands around his mouth to better project his message across the street.
Hey.
Laughing and arm in arm, the girls stopped only to look both ways and then rush across the empty street.
Hi.
Hi. I hope you weren't waiting too long.
We went to her birthday party, right? That was this girl?
I think so?
Hold
We
on.
went to some person's birthday party, but I forgot her name.
I thought it was her. Let me... Hold on. It was. Aw, she's so cute.
Oh, okay, so it was her.
We went to her birthday party and we made friends with her. Slay.
Right. Oh shit.
Okay.
Hi. I hope you weren't waiting too
Hey,
long.
buddies.
Hey, buddies. Hi.
Miranda's cute. She's so cute. I love her design. Thought you knew better than to jaywalk. Even if it was an open road in a small town, it was still illegal. Oh, was I being serious? Guys, I'm not a cop. Come on. They took matching tones with an apologetic...
Me too.
Wait, apologetic... lilt?
Lilt?
Me too.
I guess.
Sorry,
It was a
Groovy.
joke.
Me too. Sorry.
Alright, though, you shouldn't do it again. Oh, I don't like this. No, I'm not a cop. I'm not doing that. They started giggling again. Terry glanced at Miranda, wondering what their story should be.
Ooh.
It was magic.
Gesturing in a vaguely whimsical manner, Terry went along with the decision.
And magicians never reveal their secrets. Ooh.
That's fair. Jaywalking isn't real. Fucking car-based infrastructure bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Jaywalking is... fuck you. It's not real. It doesn't exist. It's just the
Areas
ground. It's air. Shut up. Anyways. Terry closed the distance between her and Cove and crushed him in a painfully tight hug.
You're finally here. It's been so long. What took you?
Well, there was a new bitch in town. He did his best to eke out a reply with his chest being compressed.
Sorry.
Eventually, she let him go. Terry looked at him with a beaming smile, but Cove was distracted, rubbing his arm. Standing there, Miranda shifted her weight to her other hip. She watched Cove patiently with a bashful smile.
Welcome back. Thanks.
It finally felt official. Everyone was together in one place. From here, you weren't sure how often you would have another afternoon like this again. They didn't either.
So?
Oh.
Terry poked Cove square in the chest.
You're gonna have to get me your schedule by this time yesterday.
No way.
Not really possible, Terry. But I can say as soon as I know. So far, work hasn't said anything, but I can tell you I'm busy with Orca activities.
When Cove wasn't at his part-time job or pursuing his academic interests, he volunteered for the Ocean Restoration California affiliation, Orca. Ah, that's cute. The group focused on cleaning up beaches, and removing pollution from the ocean. Cove always loved the sea. It didn't surprise you one bit when he started getting involved with them. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it together.
Your big smash event for the year is coming right up, isn't it? Yeah, there's not that much more to do before then, but I'm kind of looking forward to the fundraising push.
Slay. Hopefully we can pull it off.
If anyone can do it, it's you two. And even if it goes really bad, it'll still look good on the college application at least. That's true.
Hey!
Hey, guess what else? We don't have to stand here to save stuff. Let's go. I would like a meal now.
Slay. Perking up, Cove nodded in agreement. Yeah, I'm hungry. Time to head out. The four of you headed into town, happily chatting the whole way. The only decision left to make was where exactly to stop and eat. Miranda was the first to offer a suggestion.
So...
I don't know about everybody else, but I like some chow
Fuck
mein.
yeah, I want chow mein.
Me too. Chinese is fine with me.
Oh shit. Entirely serious, Terry nodded. Oh fuck yeah.
That'd be amazing right
Oh.
about now.
I can always agree there. That's fucking delicious. The group's lazy wandering shifted into a purposeful journey just like that. And as Terry predicted, the conversation was able to continue while on the way to food. You and Cove finished explaining what was coming up with your Orca fundraising efforts. All the talk of beaches reminded Terry of her own personal goals. She'd been considering getting lifeguard training. Slay!
Hope and Groovy can keep our ocean clean, and I could keep it safe.
Hell yeah. Such selflessness was inspired for the listeners, though Terry butted in before anyone was too impressed.
No way.
Don't be proud of me yet. I haven't even signed up.
Laughter burst out in the little crowd. Miranda took a turn to chat about her life next. She picked out some 5-week summer courses at a community college. They wouldn't be starting until later in the month. It was exciting, though. Not content speaking solely of herself for long, Miranda mentioned good news for someone else. Specifically that her older brother Jude had a new boyfriend. Slay!
Yeah.
You vaguely knew who Jude was. But even though you'd been friendly with Miranda for 5 years, he was already in an out-of-state college back then. He was in his mid-20s, you were pretty sure of that. What you knew for certain was he had his own place with a real career and everything. Jude existed in a whole other stage of life than you, and hanging out with his much little sister's friends had never been on his to-do list. Now that was an accomplishment worth being taken in by Terry, who heard it, and Miranda, who said it, were equally dazed.
He's been single for a few years now. It kind of seemed like he just wasn't interested in anybody, and that was true, basically. There wasn't anyone for it. What? Okay, wait. Let me rephrase that again. There wasn't anyone here for him. He's dating a friend he's known online for a long time.
Aw.
They've been playing games together since college. Oh, that's
Dude, he
cute.
met his boyfriend on WoW.
This is my theory, but he might not have dated anyone else because all he wanted was to hang out with more with that good friend. But no one ever say that to him.
He was probably like, I don't want to date girls. Like, I just want to like play WoW at home with my homie, and then, that's exactly how it went.
Yes. He never even hinted there might be a thing there until one day they were suddenly dating.
That's cute.
But besides that, what's funny is I don't even know his name. Jude didn't talk about him to us until they'd already known each other forever. And now that Jude has started talking about him all the time, he just calls him Grant.
Not European video games. No, Jude, please, not like this.
Huh?
Is his name not Grant? It's not.
Oh, is that like his like avatar's name?
It's an inside joke about how they talked about school grants one time since they were first becoming friends. They thought it was funny how Grant was also a name and were going all, oh, I bet Grant could get a grant.
I guess you have to be there.
Then it escalated to joking about a Grant being named after some person called Grant. His friend named Grant his username for everything, and it still is
This
today.
is such a stupid inside joke that friends actually do.
Yeah.
You barely had a concept of Miranda's brother, and that one, the explanation was everything you knew about his boyfriend, but the story gave a real impression of who they were.
Wow. Godspeed, Judy. Never let Grant go. That's nice. I bet they're really happy.
Do you think we'll ever know his real name?
Maybe if they get married.
Slay. Trying to follow the incredible story of Grant proved difficult, Miranda trailed off. The current conversation was well and truly over, so Cove took a chance to speak.
Oh my god. This has been on my mind the whole time, but there was never a good chance to mention it before. What is it? There's a new person renting a condo in our neighborhood. Really?
From one tale of an unusual character to another, Cove spoke of Baxter Ward as if he was a local legend.
His name is Baxter. He's in college, though doesn't look like he's much older than us. Maybe Miranda's age? He's not gonna be what you expect, no matter how much you try to guess.
So there's this like bisexual twink who moved in next door. The description put Terry on the edge of a non-existent seat, and she was about to fall off it somehow.
What?
A new man in town? Who's our age? Cove Holden has been holding out on us, as usual. I won't guess, you tell me what he's like.
He's monochrome.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what I said. It means he's monochrome. Baxter dresses in all black and white and a little gray. His hair is black with white streaks too. That's like... Wait, no, his hair is black with white streaks. His hair is white with black...
His hair is white with black streaks.
His hair is black with what? Monochrome is exactly what I was thinking before the options even came. Yeah. Wait. Unless it's like... On top is white and then under is black?
There's black?
Huh.
Maybe. What?
This man's hair is confusing me.
Huh?
Cove had been correct. That kind of man had not been considered in the realm of possibilities for Terry or Miranda. I think it's just the artwork does not match. Yeah, exactly. I think it's like because like the white streaks are on top, so it looks like his hair is mostly white. He added on to your initial description with a couple thoughts of his own. More explanation was required to make any sense of it.
I mean,
Baxter is bold. He says whatever he wants, and well, Ruby already mentioned how he dresses. But I don't care that he has a style or that he's not shy. What I don't get is the way he acts so impressed by strangers who have done nothing. He said he wanted to hang out with us, me and Groovy this summer and all this other stuff. And that was the very first time we'd met. I have no idea why he cares, or why it was so easy for him to say that to people he knows nothing about.
Cove, you're such a like fucking like prude. Like, be fun. So you.
So you got his number?
no.
No.
Cove's eyes squinted and his nostrils squished inward from the incredulous scrunch that suggestion had given him. Concerning the picture that had been painted, he couldn't understand why Terry would imagine anything like that had happened. I'll ask later.
And do it. And you should too, Cove.
Dude, she's like, let him join the polycule.
You don't meet a social butterfly like that every day. The black and white color scheme proves he's a rare specimen.
Dude, he's a fucking weirdo with basic social graces and a desire to make friends, Cove. Yeah, because Cove is like, when we first met him, he was so gumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
This Baxter is flapping around the town, coming to appreciate our two good buds, Cove and Groovy, right? Like flower buds and he's
Dude, she wants us all to date. She wants us to let Baxter in.
Terry, that pun is such a stretch. Well, he sounds like my kind of guy, and we could always use more friends. I'm not so sure about that one. It's as shaky as your bud metaphor.
This was escalating. The more fired up Terry got, the more Cove and Miranda wanted to shield themselves from the embers. Oh, come on. The more the merrier. The group of 4 was evenly split between the sociable and the shy. That line was drawn clearly with the discussion. No longer moving forward, Terry stood there with her hands on her hips.
I'm on it.
Want to meet Baxter right now?
No, I want to go eat. Cove completely stalled except for his lips, which sputtered a response.
What about getting food? I know the way. You can all go ahead. I'll be back before the food hits the table. You'll see it.
What the fuck? Are you just gonna like grab him and bring him here? Terry looks fucking mad.
Do you even know which condo it is?
She's just gonna grab a guy. Terry's light knuckles contrasted massively with a hefty sigh from Cove. Like chuckles.
You're actually going to go to a stranger's house and ask for his number? That's the plan?
Yo, she's kind of quirky.
Yeah. Why do you gotta be like this? If I wasn't like this, me and you never would have been friends ourselves. And I probably wouldn't have been friends with Randy either.
Aw. Terry just gonna race off, track him down, and be like, hey, I know Groovy and Cove want to get at Chow Mein and not wait for an answer. Literally, and she'd be right.
I don't live in this town. I can't miss an opportunity to connect. Otherwise, that means leaving it up to chance or fate or Cove's ability to have relationship progress on his own. I don't have all year for that. He'll be gone before then.
We're cool.
Not to insult you for going slow, Cove. You're good the way you are. Baxter can be a butterfly and you can be a snail.
There was affection on Terry's extended metaphor, but Cove still frowned at almost certainly correct assessment of how his connection with Baxter was going to develop.
No.
I don't like snails.
Ah! I like snails, but what if you wanted to be a sea turtle instead?
Okay. I'm a turtle.
Yay!
Good, you can accept that. Order me the General Tao chicken? Is it so chicken?
Yeah,
General So's chicken?
I think it's the same, because it's just, I think it could be spelled different?
Mm,
I don't know.
I'll get his number.
Inspired by the name of her meal, or perhaps her meal was inspired by the sudden mission, Terry gave a military salute before flipping around. Miranda and Cove simply watched in disbelief. No, I'm hungry. You're making a mistake leaving your order with us.
Protect me, Randy. Cove won't stand up to them.
With those party words, Terry vanished down a bend in the street. The 3 people left in her wake had no choice but to regroup.
Let's hurry. She said she'd be back before the food arrived. We don't need to make that easy on her.
Slay. Mischievousness replaced bemusement as 75% of the usual crew finished the short walk to the restaurant. It wasn't busy, and you were seated immediately. A waiter came with menus, but you'd all been there many times before and didn't take long to decide what to get. He was happy to take the order then. Before anything else, Miranda got the appropriate meal for Terry. There was no chance to accidentally order nothing but the side salad with extra dressing or something. She was safe for another day. She then followed through with the original plan that brought you all there and requested the chow mein for herself. Cove got beef and broccoli, so good.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's see. What am I ordering? Fried rice is good. Oh god, orange chicken is so fucking good.
Yum. Sweet and sour pork.
I think I'm going for the orange chicken, fellas. You know what's even better? Orange beef.
Oh hell yeah, that shit's good as fuck.
They double widened the dialogue. Yeah. Sometimes there's like multiple pages. Got it. Anything else? I already read that. Whatever. Deliberations were made, and the conclusion was yes. Spring rolls. Oh fuck yeah! Spring rolls to share. Your table is also getting 4 waters. The waiter jotted it all down and excused himself to get the order in.
So...
Well, here we are. Sort of. We didn't make it exactly in one piece.
He offered the joke to head off an awkward silence. Unfortunately, his delivery was equally uncomfortable. Miranda gave a little smile anyways. No one liked that. Before people had run away from the house, now there's somebody running it right to it. How many times, how times have changed.
Wait, does Tara know which condo it is?
Nope!
Maybe.
She'll figure it out. The waiter arrived and Terry wasn't there. When a plate of spring rolls with a side of dipping sauce was placed on the table, a seat remained empty. Terry vowed to make it back before food arrived, though ordering an appetizer was cheating. She meant the main course. No one declared her loss yet. What about some dumplings? Oh, dumplings, prawn toast. Although I fucking love dumplings. Like fried dumplings, like peanut butter sauce. God, now I want to go order Chinese food. But food was truly in front of the three of you. A savory steam lifted from the rolls in a curling motion, like an encouraging wave hello. Miranda placed her hand in her lap, rejecting the greeting. Yeah, fried best. I fucking love gyoza. Oh.
Gyoza's good.
Or like soup dumplings. Oh my fucking god. Now I want soup dumplings.
I really like this dish that they have. It's like fried taro or something. I don't know what the exact
the
dish
fuck?
is called,
That
but
sounds-
it's so good.
Wait, I don't know if I've had that before. That sounds
don't know
so
what it's
yummy.
called. But it's very good.
Oh.
I want to wait for Terry before starting, but you two can eat yours. She won't care.
Cove hummed and hawed, with squinted eyes before ultimately saying,
Yeah, I'm gonna eat mine.
"It's gonna be hot." That was expected, but it was impressive he at least took a second to consider waiting. I always wait. I can't eat if I get my food and someone else is still waiting for theirs. I feel so shit eating it. I'll wait for Terry too.
All right.
Fried taro dish with the
Okay.
hell of a name. Wukok. Let me Google that. Hold on. It's WOOCKOK.
Okay, okay.
WOOKOK. Like it's a space between those. That looks good. Is that what?
Oh,
it-
yes, that's the one. That's the fucking one. That shit is
Crispy
so good.
yam puff. Oh, that looks. I never had this.
You should order it.
If I ever see it, I will order it. It looks so good.
It's like my favorite food whenever I
Damn.
go get dumplings at a dumpling place or.
Ooh. I don't know if they have it. They either had that here and I just didn't recognize it, or they don't have it. But I will look out. Mashed taro
Yeah.
is formed into ovals and stuffed with meat and veggies. Oh my god! And deep fried spiderweb crust layer on the outside. Wait, it's stuffed with like meat?
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds.
they have like
delicious.
meat and like taro or yam. Usually you can find it at like a dim sum place if I'm not mistaken.
Mm,
That's a shit's bomb.
that sounds good. I will put that in my mind palace.
Okay.
Cove selected his morsel indiscriminately, taking the one that was closest to his side of the table. Half of it disappeared after a single bite. Being the only one to start eating had no impact on Cove's appetite. He enjoyed the spring roll. Not surprisingly, at his pace, Cove finished munching on his spring roll before Terry appeared. Miranda's gaze drifted towards the door. She resisted watching for Terry until then, but she had to focus on something other than the tantalizing spring roll. She thought aloud, slumping lower in her chair and stretching out one strand of curled hair.
I wonder what he's gonna think when a stranger shows up at his door asking for his number.
When she put it like that, it amazingly sounded like a bad idea. Somehow you knew it wouldn't go as poorly as it probably should. Cove understood it too.
I don't know Baxter, but from one conversation, I guess he'd like the attention. It might even make his day.
I'm not sure.
I think if a beautiful woman knocked on my door and asked for my number, I would simply give it to her.
It's so true. I hope so.
Randy's well wish was suddenly granted when the topic of the discussion strode into the restaurant. Oh hey, what's up?
I made it. Terry, hi.
You got us. Nice job. Seeing Terry arrived with one undefeated spirit eased the line of Cove's mouth. It was all okay, and that meant he could already joke about it.
You barely made it, you know. We ordered a while ago, and this appetizer is already here. Ah, close, but making it is making it. Did my good friends get what I requested?
Baxter's formal ways of speaking had apparently come along with Terry.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it. General Tso's chicken. Oh, yes, thank you.
The last seat was finally filled as Terry plopped down, satisfied after a job well done.
So, did you actually see him and get his number? Why even ask? I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Damn, she works well.
If any of you want to get in touch with Baxter, you can come to me. I'll text him for you.
He lives right next door. I could just go see him.
Exactly.
So what do you mean somebody to reach him? Just like knock on his damn door. He lives like 2 seconds away.
Baxter will be cool with any of you reaching him through me. He's a chill guy.
Really?
You think so? I know so. I just showed up at his house and he gave me his number.
Yeah, it sounds like a chill guy.
We should hang out sometime.
Cove and Randy exchanged uneasy looks. The Baxter saga wasn't over. As far as Terry was concerned, it might only be getting started. The group had settled into the usual rhythm. When your proper meals arrived a few minutes later, you ate and talked, and not once did the topic return to the element of the unknown, Baxter Ward. But he remained stuck in the corner of your mind. After many seasons in the sleepy town, you'd had expectations of what the summer of 2016 would look like. It had been all too easy to imagine. Sure, you'd graduated high school, your life wasn't going to be the same anymore, but it was too soon for the warp, that to warp the existence you'd had for over a decade. At least you thought so. Oh god, yeah, it's the old sweet summer of 2016. And yet there was Baxter, looming bad times. He was something you'd not counted in a single one of your vacation plans. You couldn't have until barely an hour ago. Now he might be. His number was on Terry's phone. A new world, one you had no grasp on, was already poking its way into your old routine, and it had come in the form of a black and white ballroom dancer. You were lucky. The final days of familiar comfort had come, but the first sight beyond that was a charming young man asking you to spend time together. The rest of the afternoon and evening passed by in a blink of an eye. When night fell, it was time to head home, and you parted ways with Miranda and Terry. You and Cove reached your neighborhood without event. It was late enough that your out-of-the-way street was dark and silent. Give me a piggyback ride. I want to be carried like a princess.
Oh yeah.
It was a long day out and about. You appreciated that you could rely on him to make things more comfortable for you. You tightened your grip on Cove and turned your head over so slightly, peering at his face out of the corner of your eye. You wondered why he felt so distant to you. It was out of character. For a while, Cove suddenly stared ahead and left you alone with your own thoughts. It surprised you when you did hear his voice all of a sudden. He still wouldn't look at you.
It feels weird coming back to the neighborhood and trying to get into things like they're the same. And they're not. It changed, and they're still changing.
Your mouth felt uncomfortably dry all of a sudden. It was true, the things that kept the people you knew together were starting to disappear. Each person had to make their own priorities and their own path now that it wasn't set for them. You thought about your own immediate future. You had been considering more and more, and ideas were starting to settle in your mind. You hoped... Oh, jeez. I guess, like, when I was at this point, my next step was going to school full-time, so I'm just gonna do that. To work full-time. I guess, like, a bit of everything, yeah.
Yep.
That was the basics. For your career, you thought you'd... Just find a company. And work online's fun too. And that was all. For your education, you thought you'd... Oh, Jesus. Again, I went public, so I'm just going to do that. Or, okay, I guess community college is also in there, so let's do that. Okay. And that was all. For yourself, you wanted to... figure out what the fuck I want. And for that, you wanted to... stay local. It'd all be happening so soon. Open about the situation everyone knew. Yeah, sure. Now you wondered what Cove had in mind. You'd heard him consider some things for his future, but it was never anything that would have counted as a real plan. Cove stopped in the middle of the street. He sighed and put you down. You were both outside of your house. Cove looked at the ground for a moment. His mouth trembled, trying to settle on the right words to say.
So, are you still thinking about what you want to do and stuff in Sunset Bird?
Yeah, you remembered. Cove closed his eyes and nodded while he composed his thoughts. He looked at you when he lifted his head.
I mean,
I decided on something. Well, kind of.
He smiled slightly and rubbed his arm, and then his expression grew more serious.
I'm not gonna decide on a school or a career, not this summer. I'm gonna stay here, at least in Sunset Bird. I'll probably move out of my dad's place.
Oh.
I'll keep working my job, keep doing my volunteer stuff and everything else.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll know what I want for myself by fall, or next year, or maybe I'll never have a plan. Life will continue on with whatever's happening. What? Life will continue on whatever's
I don't know.
happening?
Wait, life will continue on with whatever's
Continue on
happening.
with whatever's happening.
Happening.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, it's weird.
Okay. I'm not gonna crush myself trying to have everything figured out by a timeline that someone else has set. I just can't do it.
Slay. His brow furrowed, and his tone was tense. It was clear how much expectations were weighing on him.
I guess.
I guess it'll be me and you right here for a while longer.
Yay! His eyes were glossy. You weren't going to be separated, and that meant a great deal to him. Your plan sounds very you. Cove grinned. He looked relieved that you understood.
I think so too. I'll see you tomorrow, Groovy.
I'm already looking forward to it. Night. He pulled out into an unexpected hug. It knocked the breath out of you, yet couldn't have been a more reassuring feeling. You returned his embrace and stayed that way for as long as you could.
Good night.
He finally let go, giving you another smile. Then Cove started walking away, but you remained there, frozen in the middle of the street. You watched him and wondered how many more times will he be able to say that he'll see you tomorrow. You hoped for countless more times. Finally, you turned towards your own house. You vowed to yourself that you would make the most of every moment you had this summer. All right, here we go.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so would you want to do at least one and like finish it, or?
Yeah, we can do one.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we got this, and then I think this one's like Baxter stuff. Okay. Hey.
Is there one that chat wants to see?
Chat, you guys want to see one? I'm like thinking of like happiness, and happiness is the one I'm blocking, and then there's reflection.
I feel like, I mean, just from those titles alone, feels like something that would be good for the end.
That's true. I guess driving, we'll learn how to drive, but talks. Reflection? All right, chat has spoken. We're going to do reflection.
Okay.
After finishing breakfast at the Holden's house, you and Cove had retreated to his room to relax before starting the day in earnest, or perhaps you would take it easy for the whole afternoon. Neither of you had plans exactly, so you were free to do whatever came to mind. I know this one is an interesting dish. Oh yeah, I've never had that. It looks so fucking yummy and sounds delicious.
What dish?
Oh, they're talking about the taro again.
Oh. It's good.
Okay, back to taro. Let's go. Okay. Sure, let's doodle in the sand. It wouldn't be Cove's room without a thin carpet of sand covering the floorboards. You parted your fingers. You parted the fine grains with your finger, occasionally swiping a palm over your design and starting over. Even with your mind elsewhere, you could tell Cove was similarly at ease. He had his chin propped up with one hand as he scrolled through his phone. A burst of laughter broke the silence, hooking your attention and bringing you back to the present. You looked at Cove for an explanation. His eyes, now crinkled with mirth, were still locked on his screen. The dumplings themselves are kind of an acquired taste. I see. Like, what about it? Like, what kind of taste? Can you describe the taste? Or if you can describe it too, but like, what kind of taste is like the taro thing?
Like the taste of it?
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain. Like, inside it's like very soft. Like, I mean, it's like kind of like mashed potato soft with the taro, but then you get a hint of like that savoriness of the meat. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit salty with the vegetables, and then like the fried crispiness of the outside. It's like it's crunchy, but it's also very flaky because
Allspice flavored, I see.
the fried part is like very
Yeah, it's like
how do I
it's
say it?
flaky because it looks like
It's
like
crumbly.
yeah. They aren't
Mhm.
bad, but the ones I've had are very allspice flavored. Sounds I don't know. It's
Ah.
something I want to try.
Hmm.
Are you gonna let me in on the joke? He finally looked up at you, smirking.
Dad scanned some old photos, you know.
Oh, you have to show me. He drew a rectangle in the air with the phone free hand.
Printed out ones back from when I was little. He texted it all to me last night, I guess. I've been checking them out.
You're looking at your kitty photos and didn't tell me. Cove narrowed his eyes, smile still bent.
I was gonna show you. I just want to look at it first to make sure there was nothing super embarrassing. You never know.
No,
with my
too
dad.
bad. Doesn't matter. I get to look at all of them. I'm special. He grimaced, envisaging what horrors his dad might unwittingly spring on him.
I mean, what if there's a photo of me getting potty trained or
Well, then
something?
I get to see that shit too. Hand it over. Kid pictures are supposed to be embarrassing. That's part of the fun. The kind of wispy, crispy outside is super fragile and delicate and lacy. Yeah, it looks like it because it's like super thin.
Mhm. Yeah.
He was holding out on you, but your protest was of no use. Cove only cleared his throat nervously, the fear of his dad's well-meaning actions still looming large in his mind.
Anyway, before we forget, I was laughing because I came across a Halloween one from when I was 8. This year, the year I was a zombie, remember?
He shook his head, grinning eerily. How did we say that again?
Riley? Really? Riley?
Doesn't matter. While holding the phone out to you. So texturally, you can describe what it's like to eat something is both really fine, also just crumbly on the touch. I think I could picture that. I think it's like the
Yeah.
name Riley. Oh shit. Damn. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Riley. Okay. Whoa, Riley. Huh. You walked over and took a seat on the bed next to him to get the full view. Aww. He's so cute.
I never even liked zombies. All I wanted was to show off my new scar. It didn't need to be something scary. I couldn't be a normal person who had a scar according to my 8-year-old mind.
Yeah, that's how 8-year-old minds do be working.
I was a little dork.
Right?
Dad really wanted to be useful as usual. He came up with the idea of being an undead person. It was pretty good, huh?
I remember getting lots of extra candy when adults realized the scar was real. It must have been your greatest Halloween haul ever. Cove chuckled at your reply.
I can't believe how much larger my scar used to be.
Yeah, look, it's still red. I guess because it's like almost like as soon as he got his cast taken off.
Cast off?
Yeah. He looked down at his arm, a soft smile on his face, and traced what remained of the jagged line with his fingers, just as you've seen him do countless times before. His voice was playful when he spoke again.
Look how tiny it is now. How am I gonna pretend to be tough without a big scar?
Yeah, especially because he was like little back then, so that scar looked fucking huge on his like tiny little arm.
Right.
Cove, you've never fooled anyone.
I know.
Cove smiled bashfully, pleased with his joke, and ducked his head to look away from you, his fingers still tracing the scarred patch of skin.
But I really do like having this, even if it is kind of little these days.
His voice was shy, like he was letting you in on a big secret. Cove turned back to you fully, finally letting go of his scar. He was happy that Mark was a part of him and clearly held meaning for Cove. Can I touch your? I'm gonna ask him. Can I touch your scar? He blinked, taken aback by the request, but nodded easily.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You cupped his arm with your fingers carefully as your thumbs ran down the outline of his scar. Along with the rougher tissue of the scar, you could also feel the goosebumps on his arms. Cove let out a choked breath, a dizzied smile playing out on his face. It was evident that he liked the feeling. Oh. Aww. Smooch. Your hold shifted so you could bring his forearm to your face. Cove quietly gasped when he realized what you were doing. You tenderly kissed the old wound that marked him. Cove squeaked at the feeling of your lips on him, and in the spot in particular, but his expression was overwhelmingly one of adoration. Cove couldn't stay still and reached for you himself with a free hand, his fingers brushing against your cheek. He leaned forward, eyes gleaming. Oh.
Can I kiss you? Oh.
No.
No. Oh, no.
He nodded. His cheeks burned red as he closed the gap between you, his mouth gently meeting yours. You held onto his arm like a lifeline as you kissed him back, briefly worried that you might drown in the depths of your feelings. Then you opened your eyes, meeting Cove's, and knew that the feeling was mutual. He laid his forehead to rest against yours. You felt his hot breath tickling your face. Heads touching your hand on his arms. On his arm, you were entwined with Cove. It felt so right. Time couldn't register in the moment. It could have been seconds or minutes, but eventually you straightened up, lifting your hand from his scar. That seemed to break the spell, though. Though he stayed close to you, Cove sat up and came to his senses. Your eyes drifted back to the scar on Cove's arm. The scar had been there for as long as you'd known Cove, though when you first met it had been concealed by the neon pink cast.
So?
Want to hear how I managed to go jet skiing when I was 8?
Wait, is that how he got it? I forgot. I guess.
I don't know if it was mentioned. How he got it.
I don't know. You were initially stunned that he'd guessed that you were thinking. Though, given the topic of conversation and the direction of your gaze, it was a natural conclusion to reach. Not bothered by your reaction, Cove continued with a shrug.
I don't mind telling you. It's nothing special.
He rubbed the back of his neck, grinning sheepishly.
Mostly it's just really dumb.
You nodded. That was something you'd like to hear more about, especially knowing that no lasting harm had come of it. Cove stared into the distance, lips parted as he readied the story in his mind.
So me, my dad, and mom were at a party. I don't know if it was a casual get-together or a specific celebration. I hope it wasn't for something meaningful, considering how I ended it.
Oh yeah, that is how he broke his damn arm. He winced, then managed a bashful smile.
Anyway, my mom and dad were off doing stuff, talking to people, I guess. I was left with the other non-adults. Most of them were older than I was. Maybe all of them were?
Have you ever broken an arm?
Me?
Yeah.
No, but I sprained my ankle once.
Out? How?
Don't know. I pretended the floor was lava.
You pretended the floor was lava so hard you fucking sprained your ankle?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I think I accidentally like missed my footing while I was jumping from one sofa to another.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I didn't tell my parents, so I kind of just let it.
What? You didn't go to the hospital?
I didn't. It wasn't that bad.
Did you go to school like that?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. What? How?
I didn't tell.
Is it like still fucked now a bit, or like is it totally fine? Like, is it
it's totally fine.
What the hell? I guess it's not like you broke it, but like, what the fuck?
No.
I used to jump from bed to bed because me and my sister shared a room, so I would jump from bed to bed all the time.
Oh yeah. You do some dumb shit when you're a kid.
Josh, how did you break your arm? Tell us the story. I don't know if I've ever heard about that. Mine wasn't technically a broken arm. What the fuck? What happened? Also, this wasn't me, but it was my cousin. So he had a cast on his birthday because, so you know those like mini like sandboxes that are like turtle shaped and like the cover of it is like the turtle shell? It's like a plastic sandbox. And it's like a turtle, and then you could open the shell and that's where the sand is in, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. So I can envision it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's in your mind palace. All right. So
yeah.
My my cousin took his bike and was like, oh shit, I'm gonna do sick ramps, and tried to bicycle over the turtle shell, fell backwards, and the bike crushed his arm somehow. Yeah.
That shit must have hurt.
Oh yeah, that sounds fucking terrible. Fell off the monkey bars and accidentally made one arm. Take the entire. Oh jeez. Oh, that sounds terrible. I would. Oh my god. Speaking of monkey bars, I would be so obsessed with like going across the monkey bars at the park that like one time my whole hand started bleeding because of the blisters.
Oh shit.
And I could not move them.
Oh no.
It was pretty bad. And we had to put alcohol on them and it fucking burned.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh god. I hate that feeling.
So like I was like, okay, but I was like, why do I get blisters from this fun thing? I just have to get good. So I just ignored it, and then it got to the point where I couldn't move my hands.
Oh my god.
I thought I just had to get good.
You gotta get good at the monkey bars, or else
a pretty woman will never look at me ever again if I don't fucking climb these goddamn monkey bars.
Oh my god.
Well, one more story that I just thought of because I was thinking of like climbing shit. I was thinking of how much shit kids are allowed to climb that they get hurt on. It's always the fucking monkey bars. Yeah. So sometimes at elementary school, for gym, they would take out like the gymnastics set basically, where it's like you can climb rope, like they bring out stuff you can climb on and shit like that. And it was always a surprise.
Yeah.
Like we never knew when we had that for gym. Like we would go into the gym class and then it would be there and we'd be like, fuck yeah. One of the girls like climbed it and then fell off. I don't know if, but God forbid, it was probably fucking the monkey bars or whatever, but fell off and her front teeth went through her bottom lip.
Oh, I know that feeling too.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, I forgot that happened to you. So she has like a scar. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, that happens way too often, huh?
Oh, a little bit too often. We gotta get these kids off the monkey bars.
Dude, like, we need to, like, stop letting kids climb shit. Cause, like, they fall, and they're very small and delicate.
I remember I fell through the monkey bars once.
Through the monkey... Wait, like, what were you doing? Wait, were you on top?
Yeah, we were playing tag or something. This kid was, like, chasing after me, so I kind of just fell through.
Oh, Jesus
And, like,
Christ.
It was fine.
Okay.
It was fine.
I was
but
too scared to
like,
climb on top of the monkey bars. Oh,
oh,
jeez.
it takes a lot of... Yeah. I remember used to be scared of climbing on top of the monkey bars. And I was like, fuck it. I have to...
Fuck it, I have to get away from this guy. I have to get good, and then you fell through them.
Yeah. And I fell through.
Anyway, Mom and Dad were off doing some stuff. Oh, wait, you already read this.
I don't know if did I say this already?
Probably.
I
I probably let you read it. His brow furrowed as he tried to recall dusty memories, then he shrugged again and continued.
Older kids were taking turns on the jet skis. There weren't enough for everyone to ride at once, so in between turns they were hanging out on the shore.
Oh, he snuck on a jet ski. Hold on, let me see if I'm picturing a jet ski right. Alright, jets. It's like a motorbike, but for water, and it has skis on it. Jet ski.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, an 8-year-old was on this? Yeah, it's basically like a motorcycle for the water.
Have you ever been on a jet ski?
No, it sounds terrifying. I don't think I've ever been. Have you?
No.
Oh. Oh, you know what's even more
Never.
terrifying? Jet skis are fucking crazy. Yeah, that shit goes so fast, and can it like go fucking crazy? And like, you ever see those people who are on jet skis and then like a person who's attached to them who's on a fucking like, what's it called?
Banana boat?
Not a banana boat. Is it a no? Like they're on the back, not the back, but they're in the air. What's that called? Like they're on a parachute tied to the jet ski.
Oh,
That's
some gliding shit.
yeah, that's fucking terrifying. I've been on them a good few times. Jet skis. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day. Obviously, maybe I'd probably go with like a guy who's like really good with jet skis, but like, I would never go on a jet ski by myself. I think I would die and pass away.
Well, I can't even swim. I will be like disintegrated under
Dude.
the ocean.
You're not supposed to tow things with them, I think. Oh. Huh. I've been, listen, I'll go on the, I'll like go on the paddle boat. That's fun. Now that's relaxing. And it's good exercise. The older kids were, oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. You read this again.
Did I read this?
Yeah, the older kids. So it implied that he stole a jet ski, I think.
Oh, okay. I was meant to just sit there with them and watch.
How are you gonna put a jet ski in front of an 8-year-old and not expect him to steal it? Remembering when you'd first met Cove, you'd bet that he hadn't been satisfied with that arrangement. He confirmed that suspicion.
I was pretty unhappy. It wasn't a party for me. No one all I could do was look at other people have fun when I couldn't. The teens must have realized that, though I never hid when I was pouting as a kid.
Only when you were a kid? Cove bristled with embarrassment. It looked pretty sulky to you.
Come on, let me finish the story.
Alright. Cove sighed, letting go of the interruption and picking up where he left off.
Well,
Basically, someone offered to let me ride. I was way too small to drive it myself, but this older kid, they must have been at least 16, said I could sit in front of them while they controlled the jet ski.
Wait, in front?
I knew I wasn't supposed to do anything like that. Still, I figured my parents were doing whatever they wanted, so why couldn't I? I nodded at the person. I remember the other teens helping me onto the jet ski, along with the one driving, and we sped off into the water.
Cove smiled widely and wistfully.
It was amazing at first. My hair was flying everywhere as we zoomed away from the shore. I loved being out of the water just like that. Too bad it turned out steering a jet ski with an 8-year-old that sat on your lap was harder than a bunch of kids figured out what it would be.
Shit.
The teen tried their best, but they couldn't keep control for long. They got spun around and went right into the sand.
Dude, did you get fucking
Oof.
launched off of it? You sucked in a deep breath.
The other person wasn't hurt, thankfully. They held up to the bars and stayed in their seat. I didn't.
Dude, he fucking flew off that shit. Oh
He literally
no!
was launched
No,
off.
he was.
I was thrown at full speed into a rocky part of the shore
Oh
near the dock.
fuck!
I must have tried to brace for impact or catch myself because my arm is what mostly landed on.
How the fuck did he only get out of there with a broken arm and not like a few missing teeth? Like he got fucking launched, bro. What the
We
hell?
got rocket launched out of
Dude,
there.
He got
He looked at-
cannonballed.
oh.
Like he looked down at the limb in question. You could see him visualizing the long-healed injury.
that's
It was pretty torn up. After that, it's hazy for me. I got taken to the hospital. I did feel a lot of pain when it first happened. All I remember thinking about was how I was covered in sand and the grains were uncomfortable.
The sand was uncomfortable. Cove chuckled.
I know, right? I did start feeling my arm later. It definitely hurt
Ugh.
eventually. A doctor said my arm was broken along with being torn open. That's how I ended up with my pink cast.
He smiled nostalgically.
And the color, it seemed just nice and happy at the time. It brightened the mood, so I picked it.
That's cute. The smile faded. He finished the story with a sigh, his eyes downcast.
I feel bad I did any of that. I hope whoever that teen was, they weren't traumatized by seeing a little kid go up flying into the ground. They were just trying to do a nice thing.
Hey Timmy, what did you do this summer? Oh, I launched a kid off my jet ski and broke his arm.
Oh,
Cove threw arms out to the side dramatically.
I wish I knew who they were so I could give him a call and say I'm still in one piece. But yeah, that's the full story.
What a terrible idea. Wait, you laughed at what a terrible idea it had been. I'm glad you're both okay. That's the important thing. Cove sighed again, the regret written plainly on his face.
It was a failure. That's just the truth.
Oh yeah, there's no beating around that bush. He smiled flatly.
I
But to my credit, I think I've grown a lot since then. Wait.
Cove's eyes went completely wide. Suddenly reinvigorated, he seized his phone and tapped away at the screen. What's up?
I knew it.
Oh, is the kid on there? You weren't sure he'd heard you, but he set his phone down and turned to face you directly. His face was resolute, though the glow of the screen was no longer reflected in his eyes. They seemed to sparkle even brighter than before.
Groovy, we're adults. We get to decide things for ourselves now.
You're not making me go on a jet ski on fucking God. This can't be going anywhere good. No! No!
Requirement to ride a jet ski.
You will not get me on this fucking jet ski! Screw you!
It's 18. We could totally do it.
No!
No.
No! Want to break another bone? Cove pouted, his lower lip jutting out, which didn't back up what he said next.
Come on.
I'm not a little kid. You don't have to worry.
Yeah, what about my bones? Within a moment, Cove had recovered and returned to the serious expression from before.
I'll be careful, and I really want you to be there when I try again, please.
All right, you're not getting me on that damn ski. His voice was soft and earnest. You could tell how much the request meant to him. You also knew him enough to know that he wasn't going to give up on this idea. Letting him go on his own wasn't an option. I can't refuse those puppy eyes. No, I ain't fucking trying it. I'm be on the shore. Cove perked up at once. A grin stretched wide across his face. He was practically bouncing in place.
Let's go.
You got up and worked as a team to gather everything needed for the trip. Cove's other aquatic hobbies came in handy, and he was quickly kitted out with everything he'd need other than the jet skis themselves. You needed to run back home briefly, having dressed and prepared for a day that didn't involve jet skiing, but soon enough you were both ready and jumping into Cove's car. As you got in, you learned that Cove had used the brief time apart to locate a rental store on his phone. You caught his eye as you clicked your seatbelt into its place. Excited, you held out a hand. Cove slapped it in a high five before setting off. You and Cove soon arrived. The ocean was perfectly inviting today. The deep blue of the water glittered under the sky while the tide rolled in and out at its leisure.
I'm so excited for this.
Oh, he's adorable. Seeing how pleased you were, Cove grinned at you.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Want to say hi to my dad while we're here? I've already texted my mom about the plan. He's working right now.
You remembered how close his shop was. It wouldn't take long, even by walking. Yeah, let's go brighten his day with our cheery faces. Mr. Holden was a great guy, so you were happy to check in on him.
Sorry.
Thanks. Sorry, it might be kind of awkward when he hears why we're here. But it should be alright. I mean, my parents forgave me a long time ago for that amazing stunt. I don't want to be scared off jet skiing for my whole life because of it.
That's fair. You wondered which of you Cove was attempting to reassure. It was only a short walk back down to the dock to Mr. Holden's scuba shop. Cove breezed in, as familiar with the store as he was with his own home. The place was quiet, empty, aside from a couple of customers quietly browsing and Cove's dad behind the counter. Mr. Holden looked up, his friendly expression spreading into a grin when he saw who had just entered.
Hey.
Hi, Groovy. Hey, sport. What brings you all the way out here?
He cast an eye at the way the two of you were dressed.
Judging by how you're decked out, I'm guessing scuba diving? There's plenty here for that. What can I help you with?
Cove chuckled, amused by how quickly his dad seized on a favorite topic, or maybe it was how his dad always fell over himself trying to be useful.
Hi, Dad. We're not doing that this time. We sort of decided to go rent a couple of jet skis.
The phrase jet skis had set Mr. Holden's mouth in a taunt line immediately.
Jet skis?
He echoed the word as his eyes instinctively darted to the scar on Cove's arm.
That's when...
Oh. Mr. Holden started to speak several times, each attempt quickly abandoned. Cove smiled encouragingly, trying not to add to his father's worries.
Don't worry about it.
I promise I'll be careful, and Groovy will be there too.
Yeah, we'll both break our arms.
We always look out for each other.
Mr. Holden pinched his face back into an unconvincing smile.
Right.
Alright, you're a whole lot bigger now than you were back then. Heck, you can drive a car and everything. I'm sure you and Groovy will have plenty of fun.
The worry still echoed out in his voice, barely concealed by the positive words, but Cove was, what? God! buoyed by his father's support.
Yeah, well, we're all set. We only stopped by to say hi and let you know since we're over here.
Mr. Holden beamed, obviously moved by his son's simple consideration.
Wow, you're so thoughtful. Thanks for taking the time.
Cove gave his dad a crooked smile, shaking his head bashfully. He'd long stopped fighting his dad's effusive praise, but that didn't mean he'd ever become good at accepting it. Mr. Holden simply laughed at his son's response.
It'd be great if you could keep me in the loop while you're out there, too. Just text me to let you know if it's going well, or anything. I will.
His dad smiled more easily.
Great.
Great.
Cove rubbed at his arm, causing Mr. Holden's eyes to momentarily twitch back to the childhood injury.
Bye.
We're gonna head out. See you later. Take care.
Don't work too hard. Mr. Holden waved you off as you left the store. The pair of you headed back to the docks, walking side by side. After your feet hit the boards, Cove's pace fell. Glancing over, you saw him looking down out over the water. That wouldn't have been unusual if his expression hadn't been so somber. He wasn't geared up with anticipation or even nervousness, but this was an uncharacteristic lethargy. Something was weighing heavy on his mind. What's up?
Huh?
He blinked, startled by you interrupting his rumination.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He sighed. Though you'd torn his attention from the ocean, it gradually drifted back to the water. You cleared your throat, unwilling to lose him again.
Sorry. Again.
He put his hands on his face, rubbing his eyes wearily.
Here I go, thinking everything's resolved with what's happened and we could have fun. But I can't just enjoy anything. I had to find someone else to get stuck in my head.
You're having second thoughts about jet skiing. That's fine. It's trauma, brother.
No.
No, that's not it.
The ends of his lips were drawn into the beginning of a frown, like gray clouds clustering to signal a coming storm.
I figured my dad would be a little worried about me doing it, but what he was saying wasn't what I expected. He was so sad. It was more than nervous.
Because he felt like it was his fault.
I think he feels bad, and now I feel bad. But it isn't as if I'm the only one who ever does something stupid or gets hurt. It got me thinking about that whole time. That's when I realized it wasn't long after that accident that my parents separated.
But that's not why. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, man. Well, it could have caught. Oh, no. I don't think. If it was that, I feel like they would have got back together or whatever already.
As a kid, I didn't think about the consequences of my actions, or how what I did impacted other people. Like, why should anyone care? I'm the one doing it, not them.
I don't think that if that added to it was not the only thing. Like, there's plenty of kids who get fucking break their arms and their parents don't fucking get divorced.
It made no sense, and I still cared when other people did things I didn't like. But I was 8 and mostly just mad that nothing felt like it was in my control.
You could tell that he was building up to something, so you nodded for him to continue.
It was pretty difficult to deal with because of that attitude, but looking back, I think that's what saved me from something that a lot of kids go through. Blaming themselves for their parents' divorce. It never crossed my mind that anything I did made a difference on my mom and dad's relationship. They would do what they did they would do what they did no matter what.
My parents were already divorced when my arm broke. See, this is exactly what I'm saying. Cove, you're being unreasonable.
Now, though, I guess it's kind of hard to ignore that thought, huh?
I mean,
Their situation was already so hard, and I wasn't a good kid, so...
He left his words adrift as you looked down. The conclusion finished. It was silent between you. But only for a second, Cove pulled himself up to his full height, his chin held aloft. Whatever he decided, he was resolute.
I'm going back. I've got to talk to my dad. I'm not going to let things be like before. Or just feel crappy and refuse to even tell him what's going on. That doesn't work for either of us. You can go ahead if you want. I won't mind. I still really want to do this, and I'm sure it'll be okay.
What am I gonna do? I'm not fucking going on the jet ski. Like, I'm just gonna be standing here. No, I'm staying with you. We always look out for each other, remember? Cove smiled gently, having wanted that deep down.
Thanks. Let's go.
You and Cove retook your steps down to the docks once more, heading back to Mr. Holden's scuba shop. The customers you spotted in there before were now leaving the store, new bags clutched in their hands. You hoped that this would mean Cove could have his conversation without a public audience. This time, Cove strode inside the shop with purpose. Mr. Holden, still at the counter, glanced up to greet whoever had come inside. He grinned as you approached.
How's it going?
Hello again. Forgot something? Sort of.
Cove had reached the counter now. You needed to rush just to keep up with him as he crossed the show floor. Mr. Holden raised an eyebrow, taking in Cove's shift in attitude, and chose his next words with care.
Is everything alright?
Cove swallowed, not answering initially. Talking openly with his dad was still somewhat new for the son. You knew that he was struggling for the right way to begin.
I wanted to ask about what happened.
Mr. Holden winced, as if the words had struck him physically.
The accident?
Oh god, the accident.
No, the divorce.
Oof. The pained expression fell from Mr. Holden's face. Wide-eyed, his jaw slack, he gaped at Cove.
Huh?
Why?
Cove glanced over his shoulder at you. As your eyes met, you saw him draw confidence by having you by his side. He turned back to his father.
I want to know the truth.
His tone was grave.
Did me getting into the accident hurt your marriage? If I hadn't done it, would you and Mom have gone along better? No. Hell no.
Mr. Holden quashed the suggestions with a gravity you'd rarely heard in his voice.
You were 8 years old. You're not responsible in any way. Kyra and I should have protected you. I can understand why you're feeling that. What happened was so horrible. How could it not have an impact? It did.
Ooh. Sorry.
It was a reflection of us as parents. The relationship between just your mom and me was separate and already unsalvageable.
Cove turned away, his brow still furrowed as he looked at the floor.
Well,
Maybe I'm being too anxious and it's taking over, but it wasn't just then. I always caused problems.
Aww. He plowed on, unwilling to give up without explaining his worries.
What if I'd been easier to raise? Or if you had me later on? Maybe even if you didn't have me at all, it might have been better for the two of you.
No!
If I didn't have you, then what good would my life be?
Mr. Holden didn't let the words hang unchallenged in the air for even a second. He hurried over to Cove, taking his son's arms in his hands.
Oh, listen. There is only one person to blame for things not working, and that's me.
Oh. Cove opened his mouth to speak, but Mr. Holden forced on, determined to erase any question in Cove's mind.
I'm not saying this to dishonestly push accountability off from someone else or to throw a pity party for myself. You want to know the truth, so that's what I'm giving you. Your father is the reason our family couldn't stay together.
Aww.
You think you caused trouble? You ought to see me at your age. You're such a good kid, I can hardly believe how good you are.
Aww. Mr. Holden's eyes were misty as he squeezed his son's arms.
There's nothing, absolutely nothing you need to blame yourself for. I'm sorry, Cove, to you and to Kyra. Mom? Yeah, your mom.
His pained face eased slightly into a bittersweet smile.
Kyra, she was just so smart and driven and completely bursting with life. It was as she could do anything. You know, there wasn't a single solitary person who didn't want even a piece of her. Who didn't want even a piece of her attention. Just to catch her eye for a moment. But for some crazy reason, she had a soft spot for my 17-year-old screw-up self.
She is kind of a baddie, I ain't gonna lie.
That's when we first met, though it definitely took some time before I managed to take her out on a date.
Mr. Holden shook his head, the smile melting as his recollection became solemn once more.
And then we'd only been officially together for about 6 months when we found out we were having a baby. I was so worried, so scared, but she was so brave.
Damn.
She was my rock, but we both knew the road ahead was going to be rockier. When we got married, I didn't see it as a dream come true. It was about to start living my life in the only way I could imagine doing so. I saw what happened, and throwing my cards in with a girl like her wasn't worth the risk.
Damn, they worked fast. I guess guess they were like horny 18-year-olds. I don't fucking know. He grimaced the sentence sour in his mouth, regretting his past perspective.
I'd been taking care of myself my own and getting by, then all of a sudden I was going to have a wife and a child.
Jeez, that's fucking scary.
That's...
Mhm. So I thought, alright, I better step things up and take care of all of us, and that's what I did. Sort of.
He rolled his eyes.
I made money, kept a roof over our heads, and put food on the table. But I was always busy, focused on taking care of things that I didn't stop to consider what anyone else was thinking and what they actually needed. I made every decision about what I did, and as a result, what happened to the family by myself, never asking what your mom felt or even wondering if she might have an opinion.
Just like, you know, that time you tried to give me $20 to hang out with your son?
Yeah. I told Kyra about the great place I'd found and how we'd be moving there in the same breath. Or that I'd spent all our savings and taken out a loan to start this business we're standing in, and even more nonsense. Anything I felt I needed to do, I did. Kyra couldn't even ask where I'd been all day without me rolling my eyes like she was being a nag. I was making sure we didn't starve, obviously, right? Couldn't she trust me?
He sighed, his head hung low.
God.
She went to school part-time while raising you, really knuckling down, but that didn't matter to me back then. She could have spent her days lying in bed, not dying, and I would have felt the same. I didn't care. I was going to get it all done on my own either way. It's so stupid. I admired her more than anyone when there was nothing at stake, yet as soon as responsibilities were involved, I couldn't let myself rely on her.
He combed a hand through his hair, searching for an understanding of his own younger self.
I'm not even sure why. Maybe I had something to prove. Maybe I'm the one who didn't trust her in the end. Poor Kyra. She had to spend every day mentally weighing the pros and cons of putting up with my horrible ideas for the sake of peace, or trying to explain to my blockheaded self what I was doing wrong. It must have been so stressful and frustrating, constantly having to let everything go because I was stubborn and absolutely would make a fight out of it.
He snorted bitterly.
I was definitely stuck in my head a lot those days. Our relationship at that point was made of arguments and cool tolerance, but I still generally didn't see the divorce coming. We made it through the first few years, and after that, I never really considered it ending. It was just how life was. In retrospect, it's clear Kyra kept thinking on it more every year, especially because she managed to finish her journalism degree, and with us being more stable financially, that is. She thought of everything. She even timed it right when your school ended for the year, so the process would hopefully be all settled before you had to worry about class again. We were already talking about it before the accident ever happened. I took it really hard being a sad sack all around the neighborhood, but even that isn't fair to me. When it shook out, I'm the one who got everything. Kyra didn't want to leave you, Cove. She never would have. I'm certain she felt like she had no choice but to end the relationship. The business was doing really well by then, so I had an easier time making a living. She was between jobs, and when she did get a new job, it meant that she'd be traveling all the time. That's why she willingly accepted me having full custody.
Oh, they're such good parents.
She didn't get to be there with her child for so many moments, and you had to spend half of your life growing up without your mother, and it's my fault.
Mr. Holden closed his eyes briefly as he took a breath.
So that's it, the story of Cliff and Kyra's marriage. Not exactly a fairy tale, but I want to be clear.
You saw his grip on Cove's arms tighten.
No matter what happened with me and her, I'd never ever want to miss out on being your dad.
Ah! Cove's throat bobbed as he swallowed. His eyes glistened, glossy with the tears that had yet to fall. He blinked quickly, trying to hold them back.
Thank you for telling me.
His voice was hoarse, little more than a whisper. Mr. Holden brought a hand up to his face and lightly nudged Cove's chin.
You're welcome. You're grown up now, right? You deserve the truth. That's the least I can do for you.
Cove managed a fragile smile.
Thank you for taking care of me, for all of it.
Mr. Holden brushed the compliment off with a wave of his hand.
No worries.
It was nothing. Look at where we ended up. I've got this whole entire store, a house, friends here, a very thoughtful son. It's all good for me.
I'm so glad.
His voice was still quiet, and he ducked his head shyly after saying the words. Mr. Holden patted him on the back. You could see the tears in Cove's eyes still shining, threatening to spill over. Mr. Holden put an arm around his shoulders, gently steering him towards the door.
You should go have fun, make some nice memories.
Cove's gaze flicked over you. The watery smile on his face solidified.
Alright. Good, now out you go.
Mr. Holden nudged the two of you out of the shop. You both walked silently as you made your return to the docks. Cove's face was pensive, clearly still digesting everything his dad said. He finally sighed, catching your attention. He hesitantly reached for the bag he had brought and raised it up. Oh,
Ruby, I want to call my mom.
okay.
I'm not going to leave her out of things, and I want to know what she thinks about what happened and all of that.
He fiddled with the strap of his bag. It still remained closed shut.
It's not like I don't trust Dad. It's just Mom's thoughts are important too.
That's not a bad idea. I bet she'd have some interesting things to add. He seemed relieved that you understood. You knew he didn't want to be a bother with another delay.
Thanks. I guess there's no time like the present. Time to ask.
With the mini pep talk, he finally opened his bag and found his phone. Cove unlocked it quickly and tapped over to his favorite contacts. He called up his mom and put the phone on speaker as it dialed. Kyra must have had her phone close by because she answered almost immediately.
Cove.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Oh. Oh, this is a pleasant surprise. I thought you'd be getting back to me later. Hey, Mom.
He paused for a second and then looked at you.
You're on speakerphone with Groovy too.
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, hello. I'm popular today. Well, what's going on? Don't keep me in suspense. Are you pro jet ski already?
Cove chuckled and scratched the back of his head.
We hadn't started yet, actually. There's something I kind of want to ask you about.
Really?
I'm intrigued.
Her voice was bright and excited. Cove moved the phone closer to his face so he could speak softly, aware of that the tone of conversation was about to change.
I was talking to Dad earlier. It was about your relationship and why you both divorced.
That one syllable had lost all her energy, all her earlier energy. Cove tightened his grip on his phone.
It does make sense that the past would come up today. Yeah, but...
He tried to brighten up the mood again. You weren't used to him being the perky one of the two. You could only imagine it felt like a strange role reversal for him.
Dad said you were really amazing. He admired you a lot. What a flatterer.
She sighed wistfully, and you could hear some interference. Maybe she had shaken her head. You couldn't tell for sure.
Oh, Cliff. He bungled himself through regular, everyday adulting and social situations in stunningly charming ways. Yet somehow, at the exact same time, he was an ambitious, slightly shady, under-the-table type of man when it came to making his living in the world. So essentially, your father was an absolute heartthrob for someone such as myself.
Cove and Kyra laughed delicately. The tension was broken into something lighter, more familiar between the two.
It's cool you both have nice things to say about each other. I agree, baby.
She took a moment before continuing carefully.
Do you have questions about what happened? I'm not sure.
Cove squinted at the phone in his hand as he tried to think, his free hand brushing through his hair.
I just kind of want to know how you describe what it was like. Could I tell you what Dad said about it?
All right.
I don't think Cliff would mind. Whatever he told you is probably what he'd say to me. Alright, go for it.
After taking a breath, Cove recapped Cliff's experience doing his best to follow his dad's story. He went into a surprising amount of detail, and not a single thing was missed. Kyra listened in on absolute silence, letting her son speak without interruption. When Cove finished, he took another deep inhale of air.
So, what do you think?
Kyra sighed softly. You heard a clacking noise like she was drumming her nails on the back of her phone or on a countertop.
That definitely sounds like Clifford. It's not exactly wrong, but he doesn't have a total picture. He puts the emphasis on the wrong places, I think.
Huh?
What do you mean? For starters, Cliff unsurprisingly downplayed himself more than he had to. He did?
Cove's eyebrows raised, and his face continued to inch even closer to the screen.
Well, since your dad was so praising of me, it's only fair to return the favors. When Cliff said he was already taking care of himself when he met me, he means he was on his own. Cliff's own parents weren't and still aren't friendly people.
Oh.
They've always had a combative relationship, though him getting into drinking and gambling as a teenager certainly didn't help.
Jeez.
He knew they'd kick him out at 18, so he saved the trouble and left home at 17. He always found a way to make it work, even without support. I met him a few months after that. We hit it off right away. He was exactly what I wanted back then. We dated, and then about half a year later, bam, you're on the way, Cove.
She laughed fondly as Cove clung to every word.
I was really optimistic about it all. I couldn't wait to be a mother, and I was more than happy that Cliff was his father who'd be along for the ride. We got married quick, before you were born. Cliff's recollection of our wedded dynamic is pretty spot on. He was extremely stubborn and just, well, immature. Highly, highly immature.
Her voice raised slightly, and you got the feeling she was thinking back to her memories living with him. She left the specifics unspoken.
But it's not like I was growing up either. Everyone except maybe Cliff could see a relationship was no good, or at least not good enough yet to commit to. I knew, but I didn't want to give it up. I wanted to keep the family together. I thought that if we divorced, or we were never together, then we'd ruin your life, Cove. Obviously, that wasn't true. I just didn't have enough experience at the time to realize there wasn't only one option for us. Maybe things would have been easier on you if we had split when you were still a baby, but it took me years to start figuring it all out.
Cove nodded. Even if his mom couldn't see it, thinking hard about something. He was likely remembering his own experiences back then.
We were married, but never seriously loved each other. We hardly knew each other. I don't mind that Cliff never viewed marrying me as some kind of dream come true. I honestly just appreciate that he tried giving me my hastily made life plan a shot. I was the one who proposed after all. Got down on one knee and everything.
Hell yeah. She huffed slightly, something between a chuckle and a sigh.
It's very funny, and a little sad, that Cliff still doesn't know why things change between us. It's obvious to me, and I guess he does know deep down. He just never consciously made the connection.
It's alright.
I'm not even mad he didn't say the same towards me. Love makes everything different. But you said... I know what I said.
She interrupted before Cove could even finish his blurted-out interjection.
I don't mean Cliff and I. You were just two kids in a relationship that only ever worked when it was at its easiest. And when you were born, little Cove James Holden, I loved you immediately, and so did your father.
Cove was stunned. His eyes started watering as his mouth clamped shut.
The inclination we had towards each other paled in the face of that. Our love to you was the real deal.
Aww.
Cliff was the proudest papa.
Then in true Cove fashion, tears began to fall. He stayed silent, but you were pretty sure Kyra knew the effect her words had on her son.
No matter how much time passed, Cliff never got over how amazing it was that such a precious little boy was his.
Oh.
I should have taken pictures of how he'd puff up whenever someone referred to you as his son.
Ow. She sounded much cheerier now. A slight smile crept on Cove's face despite his tears.
Then again, he still does that now.
Yeah. It wasn't hard to imagine Mr. Holden lighting up around baby Cove the same way he did with 18-year-old Cove.
I remember how, when a real argument started brewing, Cliff had a habit of walking away to cool off. He wasn't able to handle it. His son seems to have taken after him in that way.
Get him. You heard her chuckle, and Cove looked down, a blush clear on his cheeks. You could just feel her smirk through the phone. She breezed over the next section airily.
For our whole relationship, he always ended fights by skipping out on me, for who knew how long. I don't think even Cliff knew when he'd come back. That stopped when you were born. Cliff stopped running. He was still gone, a lot for work. We still had fights, but he wouldn't leave. Instead, he'd go to your room, Cove. If you were asleep, he'd just sulk on the ground by your crib until you woke up. Sometimes he'd pace the room while holding you or sit on the floor and rock you. He'd stay with you until one of us decided we were ready to talk again.
Aww.
We didn't have a lot of furniture back then. That's a part of the reason why Cliff was always hanging out on the floor. He really came to embrace it. When our relationship got bad enough that we didn't want to share a bed anymore, he always made sure I got to have the mattress. He instead set up a spot in the corner of the nursery just in case you needed anything through the night. He gave you a more private space when you got bigger, but he still always made sure he could be there for you. There's still no denying that whether Cliff understands or not. He made his choices without prioritizing me, but it wasn't that he suddenly hated me. To Cliff, I was only a wife on paper. In his mind, I was a cool girl he had dated and genuinely liked, nothing close to being the light of his life.
Aww.
All his blood, sweat, and tears weren't for himself, or me, or even the family unit. They were all completely and totally for his baby. Meanwhile, I was doing the same, though in the opposite way. I didn't take us being married seriously. I was trying to force us together as a couple so we would be a complete family for a child.
You felt like a fly on the wall of a personal conversation. Cove didn't seem to notice when you looked over at him. His face, a complicated patchwork of emotions.
I guess.
Eventually, I woke up and saw what I was doing. I realized it wasn't going to work, not like that. When I was ready for it, I talked to Cliff about separating and starting up the divorce process. He was shocked by it, and unfortunately, it wasn't too long after when you had your accident, Cove. Groovy, I don't know how much Cove really told you about it, but when he broke his arm, it terrified all of us. Cove could have died. Even back then, we knew he'd likely have a permanent scar we'd have to live with forever. He'd have to live with forever. Our parenting hurt our child, and he was the one who'd have to carry the repercussions.
Yeah, like he could have like broken his fucking neck. Like, dude, he fucking flew. Like,
He flew from Lodgest.
Jesus Christ. You were a bit taken aback to being referred to directly. You still felt a little out of place, and she seemed completely focused on her son. Cove grimaced, and the hand holding his phone shook.
Mom.
Kyra continued as if she'd never paused.
It was heartbreaking, and then on top of it all, we had to put you through your parents breaking up. Taking that back wasn't an option, despite the timing. It felt like everything we had worked so hard for to make you happy was for nothing. I chose to believe we'd fix our lives from there, but to Cliff it seemed hopeless. He failed his son. It was easier for me in some ways. I had my family to lean on that made it less daunting, less impossible. Cliff had only ever really known being on his own, by the happenstance of his birth and then my choice. When we broke up, he knew he was going to have to put back the pieces of what was left alone. I wanted to be there for him, even after everything. But I was the one divorcing him. It was impossible. I never managed to be someone he truly relied on, and I had to remember that wasn't changing. As bleak as it felt at that time, Cliff still tried not to let any of that show to you, Cove. He did what he could to keep your spirits high above the move, your new house, the scar, everything. So that's why.
Cove trailed off. He had misunderstood the impact of his injury had on his parents. You were reminded of something that made more sense now. Mr. Holden had been so helpful with Cove's old Halloween costume because he didn't want Cove to be saddened by the scar. It was clear Cove was coming to the same realizations.
Now, with all that said, if Cliff was a completely perfect and wonderful guy, I wouldn't have left him. If it was even pretty good, I would have stayed. It was hard not to have custody. Sometimes I felt like I was a fun aunt rather than the mom I always wanted to be.
Ugh, that sucks.
I might have overcompensated a little at times because of that.
She forced a laugh, but it had an uncomfortable edge to it. You could tell she was trying to blow off a very real anxiety of hers. Cove looked ready to say something, but his mom kept talking, kept moving forward.
Still, it's not Cliff's fault alone that our relationship didn't work. We were always better as co-parents than spouses, but I knew when separating that it wasn't even going to be even. And Cove? The only reason I could stand not being there for you all the time is because I knew that if the situation was reversed, and I could have provided a more stable environment, Cliff would have done the same. Your dad would give up his house, his shop, even his right arm if we guarantee that you were safe and happy. Still, as painful as it was, I was sure you'd be okay because you were still with someone who loved you more than anything else in the world.
Cove lowered his head, tears falling to the ground. He tried to speak. It took him a few tries.
Thank you for telling me.
His voice cracked and Kyra made an alarm sound on the other end of the line.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to make you cry.
I get it.
It's okay.
He was still crying. Everyone could tell, being physically present or not.
I love you, Mom. You've always been my mom, not somewhat my mom. I love you too.
Wow. Her tone was thick with emotion. She was at the edge of a voice break herself.
I'm so lucky to be your mom.
She started to sniffle openly.
Don't worry about that.
Don't feel bad for me with how it worked out. I promise that none of it was your fault, and it's not as though I'm completely miserable over here. I have an incredible life with a beautiful baby boy of my own who calls whenever he can.
At that, Cove's tears only came down heavier.
Thank you.
Kyra sighed affectionately, and you could hear the warmth in her voice.
I think that's good from now. Maybe we should end the call. Take a moment. Is that really alright?
He tightened his grip on his phone. You could see how emotionally exhausted he looked.
Of course.
We'll be in touch soon. For now, you'll only be able to keep thanking me or apologizing.
Hey!
Cove cried out defensively over the accusation, making his mom snicker.
Bye, and goodbye to you, Groovy. I'm glad you're there for my baby.
Yay! Talk to you later.
Bye, Mom. I love you. Love you too.
Cove hung up. He let his hand drop to his side, his phone brushing the fabric of his wetsuit. His other hand went up to his face. He tried to wipe the tears from his eyes. His face was red, and he struggled to put his phone back into his bag, one-handed. You could tell he was getting worked up. He finally used both of his hands, and sealed the phone back into its normal place. Cove sniffled and then reached out for you. His hand trembled in your grasp. You squeezed back. He needed to feel your support. You want to go see your dad again? He didn't have to tell you what was on his mind for this. Cove nodded his head weakly. You rushed back to the way you came, feet pounding across the boards of the dock, to return to the scuba shop for the third time. Oh, wait, hold on. You reached his dad's store and Cove still wasn't slowing down. He pushed his way through the door at full speed. His hand released yours as he charged in. Mr. Holden had been walking around the middle of the store, checking over things. Immediately, he turned at the sound.
What's wrong?
What? Where's the fire?
He froze when he got a look at Cove's face. He weirdly opened his mouth, probably to ask what was wrong, but then Cove launched himself at his father. Cove threw his arms around Mr. Holden's neck. He buried his face in his dad's shoulder and started to sob with deep hitching. Oh, Bress, oh. Cliff clearly had no idea what was going on, and his hands hovered awkwardly in the air. He looked at you for a brief second, hoping for understanding, before turning all his attention to on Cove. Ah! He wrapped both his arms around Cove's back. Cove looked secure in his father's embrace, protected and safe.
It's okay. It'll be okay. Whatever it is, it's going to be okay.
Cove kept crying. He inhaled deeply, his voice choking up when he tried to speak.
I'm so sorry.
You always try to be there for me when I was growing up, and I wasn't mean to you. I'm sorry.
Oh.
What?
Mr. Holden was completely taken aback. He hadn't expected this to be the issue.
You don't have to apologize for that, bud. Kids are allowed to be mad at their parents. It was my job to take care of you. I really didn't do anything special.
Cove shook his head as empathetically as he could, while still tucked in against his dad.
You've always supported me no matter what. You've always loved me. I wish I realized how much you did sooner.
Cove squeezed him tighter.
Thank you. I love you, Dad.
At his son's heartfelt confession, the father became choked up as well. He compressed Cove into a crushing hug.
I do love you. I always will.
Yeah.
You can count on that.
Oh.
I'll be there for you too.
They clung on to one another, absorbed in the moment. Then after a little longer, they slowly began to loosen their hold. Cove sniffled and moved so he could use his palm to wipe away his tears. His dad's shirt was visibly damp where his face had been. Cliff patted the top of Cove's shoulders. He looked at his son with pride.
You've grown up so much.
Cove started to laugh through his tears, a wavering smile on his lips. You doubted that Cove would have ever thought that crying on his dad's shoulder was a sign of maturity, but it was true. Cove had changed over the years. Cove used to cry a lot over his parents, and still did. Despite the similarity, the defining Coveness, there was a big difference between the two occasions. You were proud of him. Cove wiped his eyes again.
You're a good dad.
No.
And you're a good son.
Mr. Holden was plainly touched by the words and beamed at his beloved child. Cove looked away and shyly traced his scar. Cliff chuckled and released Cove to rub the back of his neck. The earlier panic had bled off and left the confusion.
I'm glad we had this talk, but what was it that made you cry in the first place? You weren't too bad off when you left before. Oh.
Cove ducked his head further down, getting a very good look at the scuff mark on the floor.
I called Mom. I wanted to talk to her about all of this.
He kicked one of his feet shyly, swinging it back and forth against the ground.
Things felt really hard when I was younger, but it wasn't just me going through stuff, Dad. You never gave yourself credit.
Cliff smiled gently and gripped Cove's shoulders with reassurance.
Kyra is an amazing person to come to my defense. For me, the only hard part was seeing you and her unhappy. Everything else, that was nothing.
He wrapped an arm around Cove's neck for another side hug. Cove, hello, thank you for the follow, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Cove's neck for another side hug. Cove leaned into the embrace and glanced up at his dad.
Your old man is tougher than he looks. Check out how powerful these arms are, and this is 10 years on. I was in prime those days.
Slay. Cove laughed. It was a light sound full of fondness.
Okay.
He quieted down a little, finding a quick moment of seriousness.
Thanks again, Dad. I know you don't want me to feel bad, and I'm happy because of everything you and Mom did. I really have a nice life.
Mr. Holden's countenance became much more serious. He didn't take what was said lightly.
Cove, you're very welcome. That's so good to hear.
Then he let Cove go. This time, they both took a step back to their normal proximity. Mr. Holden cleared his throat. He looked at you right in the eyes.
That's a relief.
I also appreciate that you're here for support, Groovy.
Yes, sir.
What a loyal partner.
Mm-hmm. Cove looked back down, embarrassed. Glad I could be here. When Cove stopped staring at the floor, you smiled at him. Cliff smiled warmly. He nudged Cove gently, as if to say, look how lucky you are.
Hey, maybe I have to give you another $20 for all this.
Stop bribing
You put up
me!
A lot over the years.
Cove's cheeks puffed up into a pout.
No.
No, don't do that. Actually, you know what? Give me that. You were mostly joking. That being said, you wouldn't mind a $20 bill.
Not you too.
Sure.
Okay. I'll leave making jokes about that to Cove.
Cove smiled satisfied at that.
Alright.
Cove exhaled slowly, his posture relaxing.
We better get going. You still have work, Dad, and I think Groovy has been patient enough. I didn't bring them here to watch me. I didn't bring them here to watch me cry to my parents.
I'm still not jet skiing, bro. Cliff grinned and waved the two of you off.
Sure thing. I'm happy you both stopped in, but you gotta go have some fun. Be careful out there. I don't need to go jet skiing anymore. Groovy didn't plan on doing it anyway.
Yeah, let's go home.
No way. You are a mature young man, and if you want to jet ski, then you should go out and jet ski. I'll still be here if you need anything, right? Yeah, okay.
Woo! Cove waved to his dad as he started walking out. You followed. When you turned back to Mr. Holden before you went out the door, he was waving.
Hi, kids. You'll do great.
Once again, as he had become today's habit, you and Cove walked down to the dock side by side. But this time, Cove had a bounce back in his step. His smile was soft but radiant.
Thanks for staying, and sorry for how long it took.
You do the same for me. You had his back, and he had yours. It was just how things went between the two of you. Cove grinned at you, all grateful positivity and sunshine. The water lapped at the dock beneath your feet. Cove looked down when a particularly strong wave crashed against it.
It's weird to think about my parents' relationship. There's all this stuff that I don't know because it wasn't there, because I was just a kid, or because I didn't even exist yet. It feels really complicated.
Relationships are complicated. You agreed with him. Connections to other people were as varied as there were waves in the ocean. Cove nodded without elaboration. He looked out into the ocean wistfully for a moment before he shook it off.
It's nice.
I'm happy they were married, even if they didn't stay together in the end.
Yeah. I'm happy that you're all peppy again.
Happy.
That's right.
If you say so.
So what do you think about marriage? Are you scared of it?
What?
Marriage, because of your parents' history? Cove shook his head shyly. He didn't hesitate for a second.
No. Surprisingly, I don't have issues about the idea of getting married someday.
Oh? You looked at him, not bothering to hide your intrigue. He chuckled self-consciously at the reaction he got.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. Trying to actually propose would be terrifying. I'm sure planning a whole wedding would be so hard, especially for me, but just the thought of having someone I love that I was married to, that I spent the rest of my life with, that doesn't scare me.
Ah.
Oh. It makes me happy to think about.
Oh, look at his face. Both of you snuck smiles at each other.
What about you? Would you ever want to be officially married someday?
Yeah. It was a bit of a dream for you.
Oh.
He quickly decided to change the subject after that admission.
Alright, no more distractions. Let's go. It's time to jet ski.
Alright, good luck. Don't die out there. You laughed at him loudly. He only looked more determined. You were going to jet ski. I'm not jet skiing. Two of you began to more quickly make your way across the boards. Despite your excitement, you were both careful. Neither of you wanted an accident, especially after what happened with Cove's first jet skiing trip. You finally got to the rental place. You were surprised at how easy the process was. It took no time for Cove to climb on his jet ski with shaky legs. No, I'm not getting on the damn jet ski. You found a comfortable place on the deck where you would watch Cove. You hadn't changed your mind on jet skiing, and you were more than happy to leave it to Cove. You looked across to Cove. He sat motionless astride his jet ski, preparing himself to start it up. Even from your distance, you could tell his hands were clamped onto the handles too tightly. He was so stiff and nervous. Go, Cove, you can do it. You cheered him on and clapped wildly. His body language relaxed slightly, and he turned his head to you, looked towards you.
Thanks.
He inhaled slowly and started up the jet ski. It roared forward, and you were surprised you could hear him squeak over the sound of the engine. He stopped after a few seconds and breathed again. After he'd calmed down, he started it up once more. Cove sputtered and stalled with it for for a while, going a little further each time. He grew more comfortable with the feel. He continued to struggle with the jet ski, but he refused to let that stop him. He kept going until he wrangled the machine into submission. Cove eventually reached the point where he only stopped the jet ski when he had something to say. He kept shouting things at you.
This is amazing. Did you see that, Groovy? This is so great.
Aww. You watched from the dock as he gained more confidence. He was really enjoying himself out there. He zoomed forward and you could hear his bright laugh ring across the waves. You cheered for him again, whooping whenever he did something fun. Take pictures. You pulled out your phone and snapped pics whenever you could get a good shot. You made sure to hold your phone firmly so it wouldn't slip into the ocean. Cole even agreed to pose for a few pictures. He carefully drove the jet ski closer to the dock. His face was a little red from embarrassment at first, but you ended up with a really good one where he was smiling. He went back to zipping around and you took a few more action shots. Cove continued to jet ski with glee. You laughed along with him. You both had a good time. Eventually the sun set and you had to pack up. Cove was thankfully still in one piece. No cast necessary.
Thank God.
Oh, thank God he didn't go flinging off again. After everything was returned, Cove dug his phone out of the bag and texted his parents to let them know all about his triumph. You sent Cove the pictures you'd taken of him, and he sent the best ones to his mom and dad. While you waited on the response, he decided on taking a selfie with you too. Let's make a silly pose. Cove snickered when you got into position. He hesitated for a moment before trying his own funny face. He showed you the picture and it made you smile. It would be a nice memory. His phone vibrated after only a moment after texting it out. Mr. Holden and Kyra had likely been waiting the entire day to find out how his outing would go. And with the news of his success, both of Cove's parents sent back how proud they were of Cove for how far he'd come. Watching him grinning in the setting sun after facing so many fears that day, you felt the same. Aww. I did not expect that. That was nice.
Yeah, no, I did not expect that either.
I think that's a really good story to have, especially like I think the last step had like our character with like talking about their parents.
$20. Yeah, and also yeah,
the $20 thing.
yeah,
And then what about
that.
the adoption and stuff.
Right.
So it's a nice thing to have that with how we felt about the divorce.
That was really good.
I like this game's writing so good. I think
I didn't even know it was DLC too. I don't think I had access to that.
yeah, it's DLC. Damn. You gotta get the deep lore.
I know, that is a deep lore right there.
Oh, that was sweet. The way they talk about each other. I want to kiss my husband, Cove. Hi! Ellie, we're about to end, I think. I'm just gonna ask for the sake of asking, do you have it in it for one more or nah?
I don't, unfortunately.
That's so valid. It's okay, the VOD will be up. I still have to post my VOD from last week too. But yeah. We just finished the intro to step 3 and then and then we played Reflection, which is like it basically like Cove asking his parents about their divorce and what they thought about it and what happened, which was like, it was very nice. I love you. No, don't say sorry. The VOD's up. Don't worry about it. All right, but that'll be it for today. Next, I'll be back on Thursday with AI The Somnium Files Part 4.
Yeah.
I have heard from outside sources that I have been locked into a route. So we'll see where that goes.
Oh,
I'm excited.
exciting.
Yeah. And Belle, I'll bug you if you'd be able to do this again next week. I want to get back into the our life grind.
Oh yeah, I should be free next week. I'll be free from exams finally after
Yeah,
that.
good luck.
Thank you.
Alright, I'll end it here. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for follows. And thanks for hanging out. And thank you for being here for the return of our life. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.